Hey monkeys, welcome back to Guitar Quackery Live. You're watching Guitar Quackery Live. I was gonna do more work today for you, but it turns out that I made a mistake. So hold on, I need to make it official. Let's put the shirt on. Oh, look at that, Aficionado's already in the house. He says, "Hello, doctor." Yeah, hello to you. Yeah, I messed up. And, you know, when, you know, people have YouTube channels, they can sanitize, they can kind of hide their mistakes. I kind of think it's interesting to show what I messed up today. So I was going to install the frets, and I prepare the frets, and I under radiused the frets. So frets have a radius. This fret is for a different guitar. I'm doing a few refrets actually at the same time. But this is a Strat. It's a lefty, made in Japan Strat. It's got a 7.25-inch radius fingerboard, and I, radiused this fret wire, so 3 pieces to 9.5 inches, and I cut them up. So obviously I can't use this for this, so I'm going to have to prepare fresh fret wire, which I'm not going to do now. But the thing is that I do need to clean up this board, so I am just going to document this process. Now, I pulled the frets out already. I didn't do a live stream on that, so this is just going to be a fret install. Maybe I'll also stream the level crown and polish. I'm not really sure. All right, so what are we doing? Well, let me show you. So I have an interesting procedure to install frets on a bolt-on neck. I believe I already live streamed 1 or 2 of those refrets, but I'm not really sure. I keep forgetting. It's like after a while, every day blends into another day of same kind of work happening here. So let's have a look at the fingerboard. Maybe focus. So okay, so that's dirty, right? And that I already started cleaning. Now you can see here some tissue paper stuck inside of the fret slot, and same here. So the first 3 fret slots I already started cleaning, and then I thought, well, maybe let's continue with the cleaning on the live channel. So I have these tools here. So this is just my little box with X-Acto blades, and I bought this little claw from StewMac. Right, that's to clean the fret slots. So I'm gonna simply pull out this tissue paper. Now, how did this tissue paper end up inside? Well, I'll show you that. I am basically using naphtha, and I'm cleaning these fret slots. This is why I have a glove. It shouldn't be touching. Oh, you see, I usually call it our toxic chemical. All right. So it's naphtha. Yeah, normally I don't want to say what it is because I don't want, minors to do something because they learned these things on my channel and then they burned down the house or something. I don't know. because it's very flammable. It's also toxic. So, you know, nothing to it. I'm just going to rub. So I keep it wet. And we just want to clean the surrounding area. Okay. You can see that this is getting kind of dirty. So it's doing the job. And now we have here the dirty one. We can see how I clean it. So it's a mixture of sweat, dead skin, and copper oxides. Because frets are made out of a copper alloy, which is basically brass with nickel mixed in. Very often it's 18% nickel. So brass and nickel. So brass is an alloy already, and the main component is copper. And when copper oxidizes, it turns green. All right, so you see how I cleaned this up? And now I just need to pull the tissue out of this fret slot. So if I zoom in, we can see how the frets were installed. I am going to install fret wire that's going to cover up this scar. Yeah, and where did I put it? Here. So this is something that I'm just going to use on another guitar. It's labeled, you know, it's 9.5-inch radius, and it's and these are spare ones. So here I have a whole bunch of you know, like 21 or 22 frets, I can't remember. And then I have this as spares, right? So now let's place it here. So I try to match the fret wire to what was there before. So is it covering up? Kind of. So the glue is going to flood it a little bit. It's hard to tell because we see an orange reflection on the side of the fret, on the fret wire. So what we see here, the orange part here, is actually the fret wire. So the fret wire edge is here, right? I think it's covering up this thing pretty well. And I'm going to glue the frets when I install them. And that's going to be on the next live stream. Now I'm just going to clean up this thing. I think I'll be doing another live stream today after this. But I might go out to see a show. I don't know yet. Been invited to a show. Okay, so same thing. So this isn't going to be a long live stream. Yeah. So we see the green. So the method that I'll be using is a method that I developed on my own for refretting using my arbor press. So the arbor press is right there. Okay. But I'll be making a custom support call for the neck, and that's the interesting part. Also, I use, whenever possible, I use a torque wrench. So I modified the arbor press so that I can use a torque wrench instead of the handle that was there. And the torque wrench makes it possible for me to always use the same pressure for each and every fret. Now, I made that for new necks. So when you build guitars and you install the frets on a new neck or new fingerboard, those slots don't have little side dimples from the fret wire, right? Because when you why don't I show you? When you pull the frets out, so when you pull the frets out, you have these dimples on the sidewalls from the barbs, from the fret wire that you just pulled out. And obviously a new neck, a new fingerboard isn't going to have that. So now when you are installing new fret wire on a new, I'm sorry, new fret, you always install new fret wire, right? So fret wire on a new fingerboard, it's going to crush the sidewalls so that the barbs get pushed into the side walls of the slot. Now, when you install fret wire on a neck that you're refretting, so here I have a fret wire, it really depends if the barbs fall here or if they fall in between. So it's not quite the same thing when you're refretting or when you're installing fret wire for the first time. But like I said, I developed that torque wrench system for new guitars, for new necks, but there's no reason why I shouldn't use it for a refret. It certainly doesn't hurt. It just isn't as effective in maintaining consistency between all the frets that you're installing because of the pre-existing dimples on the fingerboard when you're doing a refret. But when you are building a new guitar and you are installing frets on the new fingerboard, the objective is to install each and every fret using the same pressure, or as close as possible to maintaining the same pressure and repeating it, right? Which means that you will have a very even fretboard, and hopefully you can completely eliminate the need for level crown and polish, or it'll be very minimal. Because whenever you do a level crown and polish or a plaque job, same thing, you want to remove as little material as possible to level off all the frets. So that's the idea. And one day I'll be getting back into building guitars, so you know, I'll be using that equipment for sure. I'm almost done here. So this is a maple fingerboard, and these frets were installed on top of the finish. So sometimes they install the frets first and then they spray the finish, and sometimes they spray the finish first, then cut the fret slots, and then install the frets. So I examined this, and it looks like they installed the frets on top of the finish on this neck. Now when it's the other way around, the finish is flooding the two sides of the fret, of all the frets, and the removal is going to damage a lot of that finish. So in that case, the best thing to do really is to resurface the fingerboard after fret removal and then restore the finish, either before installing the frets or after installing the frets. I prefer this system when the frets are installed on top of the finish. Of course, those are two different procedures, which brings me to an important point, and that you shouldn't be, if you do this as a service, you know, as a if you work in a repair shop, you shouldn't have the same price for both types of refrets. It's less work to install the frets on top of the finish when you do a refret than having to resurface the fingerboard, refinish, and all that stuff. Of course, the frets still left impressions on both sides of the slots, but I am using the new fret wire that I'm using is going to cover that. And the glue that I'll be using is going to cover up a little bit that as well, because it's going to be flooding it. I'll be using this glue, fish glue. See, I took it out of the fridge in anticipation of this job, and I'm going to have to put it back in the fridge. So I warmed it up for nothing. Yeah. All right. So I think we're good. I'm scraping very lightly, just making sure there's nothing stuck inside. And yeah, looks pretty clean, pretty good. So I'm done with this. One thing that's also important is to make sure that the truss rod nut is lubricated. So it turns easily, and it's quite a few turns, which is good. So it's engaging, you know, substantial length of the, you see it's still engaged, length of the threaded portion of the truss rod. I think now it's, yeah. So it engaged about, what is this, 1/2 inch of the truss rod. And what I use is, you know, just Vaseline. So just a little bit like this. And yeah. So just put a little Vaseline inside like that. So sometimes I want to make sure I clean it up. To be honest with you, I already cleaned it up before off camera. So yeah, before I decided that I was going to live stream this little job. So I just put it back. And it's been lubricated. So Vaseline or petroleum jelly is a cheap lubricant. Works really well for this. Okay. So I prepped the neck. I got some fret wire right here. But I got other things to work on. Come on. I got something else there, a string as well. Yeah, I'm going to check if that's the right size and everything, but I'm not going to be prepping this fret wire right now because I got something else to work on. Okay, friends, that's it. So now I guess I can put this back on the guitar for now because I don't know when I'll be installing the frets. The guitar is right here. Like I said, it's a lefty. All right. So yes, I'm not reassembling the guitar, right? I just need to put the neck back so I can put it in the case. All right. Now it's important that the screws are passing through the body like this. So they're not screwed into the body, right? They just need to pass through this. Put the neck back in place and then turn counterclockwise. And now I just heard a click. So now we drive the screw in. Otherwise, we keep cutting fresh threads. So you saw how it sunk down. So it clicked. I don't know if you heard the click, but yeah. Boom. And this one. Oh, that's it. Okay. What else? Well, we gotta put the guitar back inside. Lefty. Lefty guitars confuse me when I do setups. Whenever I need to dial in the compensation at the bridge. Okay, so this is what I'll be doing next time. I will be mounting the neck here. So I remove all the hardware from the neck. You see now I already put the neck back. Well, it is what it is. But I'll put some tape on this and then I'll put the neck on top. The neck will be wrapped in saran wrap, or maybe I'll put the tape on the back of the neck. It depends. And then I'll mix up some Bondo, and I will basically make a partial mold, like the negative of the back of the neck, so that it has support throughout. Obviously, I need to adjust the truss rod before that and all that, because otherwise, you know, I guess one of the traditional ways is to use some kind of a neck caul. And sometimes I do use this, but this is better for bolt-on necks. And then I am going to work with this arbor press. So this is going to be here. And it's got a 7.25 inch radius caul. So these cauls, they look like this. So this one is a 9.5, right? But the one that's already there is 7.25 inch radius. And we install the frets using fish glue. So that's something that's, I guess, usually exciting to watch. Although if you want to watch refrets, you can watch Tanya. The lady from, I think she's from Ukraine, right? She's from Kiev, I think. Yeah, stuff, right? But yeah, that's where her shop is. Yeah, I watch her sometimes. She's quite a good technician, repair tech. Divine Bliss is a newbie. Well, welcome to the channel. Make sure you subscribe. So, Mark's gas station. You knew as well, I think, right? Oh, gear acquisition syndrome. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I have that syndrome as well. I think we all do. Okay, friends. I need to decide if I'm going to see a show tonight or not. I don't know. Haven't made up my mind yet. But I do have a few guitars to work on. And I think I might be live streaming this setup on a custom guitar. And it's made by a small company called Reloved Guitars. Okay? And it's got an interesting bridge. So I'll be live streaming the whole setup for sure. Am I going to do it tonight or another day? Well, that I don't know yet. I hope I'll be live streaming tonight. Maybe very late, maybe after the show if I decide to go to that show. I've been invited to a show and I still need to buy the ticket. Aye, no problem. Okay, friends, so thank you very much for watching. It's been a nice 28 minutes and 44 seconds spending time with you, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.